Hey guys, welcome back. You want to play resce-ace and you are wondering what is the best list to do so. Look at this abomination that I have here for you. You don't want to count the ultra rares in this deck. I guess that would be a bit depressing, but this might be one of the best lists to play the resce-ace stuff. Obviously together with a very big snake eyes list, as you can see, two of the most strongest engines that we have in the game at the current moment available here, and we will talk about this list today. This list topped Decade tournament yesterday, so a very nice one. But why are we playing 60 cards? What is the main idea? Why would you ever play 60 cards? You might never have asked you this question. Let me answer this in this one. The problem with the resce-ace deck is that we are playing a lot of one-offs that we do not want to draw. So for example, you basically never want to draw your traps, you never want to draw your rescue. You might want to draw your alert, because your alert, if you have your hydrant on the field, can search you any other resce-ace from your deck, so that might be nice. This is definitely, depending on the situation, I guess one of the best ones that you could hard draw. Obviously, it's also not the end of the world if you have like a hydrant or any other opener. The resce-ace airlifter, it gets imperm, for example, and then you can set one of the destruction or the negate traps and still activate it, which also would not be that bad. So I guess it's not the end of the world drawing these one card bricks, you could say. There are other cards that you don't really want to open, like the field spell, which is very important in the grind game, but at first turn you don't really want to open this. You might not even want to play this, depending on how much you have in your graveyard and in your banish pile. And then obviously cards like, don't really want to open the impulse here. Sometimes you want to open the turbulence, hard draw, preventer. Those are less awkward opening hand cards, but those are also not one card starters. Having like a turbulence in the hand or preventer without anything else is just a dead card. Obviously you are starting by your airlifter or your emergency or your hydrant here, or through the Diabell Star, Wanted, Bonfire, or a Snake as popular stuff. So we are putting together a really insane 60 card list here. And what are we playing? We are playing Effect Veiler, so all the one-offs, if you are wondering, are obviously in here because of the crossout designator. If you are playing the crossout designator, this would make way more sense if we would have the crossout designator at 3. Here at 1, it doesn't make that much sense, to be honest, but having an Effect Veiler in here just to be crossed out for your Snake Eye Ash or your Airlifter, that is quite nice. And the cool thing is that you can start off with the Snake Eye engine, for example, special summoning with the original Sympho Spoils Snake Eye Ash. So let's, for example, say you have an airlifter in the hand and you have access to your Snake Eye Ash via the Sympho Spoils. Then it's basically the same as with the Snake Eyes Kashtira deck, that you can basically bluff your important plays. So you go Snake Eye Ash, and then your opponent obviously will imperm or Effect Veiler the Snake Eye Ash, and then you can still go normal summon resce-ace airlifter and have access to all your other stuff, namely your turbulence set 4, which is obviously your main play of the deck, if you're not already aware of that. By the way, I will also make a video about resce-ace, a guide that will come probably on Sunday, I guess. I can't really make it before. It's a bit of a full weekend for me, unfortunately. But yeah, we have the Effect Veiler. We have obviously the Jet Synchron giving us access to all of our exo deck plays here with the Borreload and the Baron de Fleur, Formula Synchron, and obviously you have everything available here that you would need for full combo. So the Snake Eye part of this deck plays like any other Snake Eye deck. If you're not aware of how to play Snake Eye, I've made a guide for this. I will have this linked up in the right corner and also in the description of the video. We are playing one Kurikara, which is really nice and really important at the moment. You will be able to search this via your Snake Eye Ash mainly, get this to your hand, and then you can tribute your opponent's ex-Pearly Noir. If you are not aware, Pearly is back. If you want to learn that deck, I will also have a video in the description below where I show you the new combos for the deck. You can go check that out. But we have the Kurikara for that, just to clear out a board. It's just a nice card to have if you go second and you need to clear something. You might have your Snake Eye Ash and don't need your Popular Search. So for example, let's say you already have a Bonfire in hand, then obviously Bonfire can grab you your Popular, and then you can go Snake Eye Ash, search the Kurikara, and clear your opponent's board. We have two resce-ace Hydrant. This is a nice card, but we are playing it at 2, not at 3, because we normally want to get it to the field via our original Sympho Spoils Snake Eye. Even though you could argue in this deck you could also just go for the Snake Eye Ash, so adding a third Hydrant in here could be an option. Obviously not 61 cards then, but you could put something else out for that. For example, another of the original Sympho Spoils. But if you want to just trade off an ultra rare, then obviously an ultra rare trade for another ultra rare doesn't really make this deck cheaper for you. I understand it's not a cheap deck. but we still talk about this. We have triple Snake Eye Ash. Obviously, this is one of your best normal summon starters that you have. You don't want to have too many normal summon starters in this deck, but fortunately, you don't really have. You have your 3 Snake Eye Ash, your Poplar as a one card normal summon starter, your rescue-ace airlifter, and then your Hydrant somehow, I guess. So that's not even that bad. With 60 cards, that's quite a lot. And we will talk about the idea of the 60 cards in a moment. We have the Snake Eye Oak, the Poplar. This gets us into the Sinful Spoil stuff. We have Maxi, obviously, Ash Blossom, because Ash Blossom is always good. One impulse to get into our rescue-ace plays on our opponent's turn. The airlifter, best normal summon in the deck currently. This is the most probable card to get a hit, in my opinion, when they want to weaken rescue-ace. Triple Diavelster, because this just opens everything. We have a Preventer. Two Preventers are quite nice for like a combo that you can do that you also see in the combo video, but one Preventer is already enough if you are on 60 cards, that is. We have obviously the Flame Birch Dragon, because now we have a lot of 1-star bodies in our graveyard. We have 2 Turbulences, we have triple Nibiru because it's just strong in the current format. Duster is a very nice card currently because a lot of people are on Labyrinth, a lot of people are on rescue-ace, and this just clears, for example, against rescue-ace, clears out the entire board. Rota for your rescue-ace airlifter, so another copy basically. 1-for-1 is another copy of Snake Eye Ash or Hydrant or Poplar or Oak, whatever you want. You have 3 triple tactics talents that you can use to grab your Feather Duster, a strong card to interrupt your opponent, or we also have an evenly matched in here. If you are wondering why one evenly matched, it's just because we have the triple tactics thrust. And then obviously if you can only use the thrust on your opponent's turn. By the way, now I just realized, because I've copied this list obviously, there's not a talent in here, and I would prefer a talent if we have some thrusts, because sometimes you just want a talent to break the board. But let me just think about what we could even put out for this. We could put out another original Sinful Spoiled Snake Eyes, and I would go and play a thrust, I guess. Could just go the other way around depending on what you have, because having the ability to thrust into talents can be quite nice and gives you another option. So you have the evenly matched option, the talents option, the duster option mainly. Then obviously Bonfire to search your Poplar, which gets you into anything else. Your 1 Sinful Spoils, we have Rescue HQ for the grind game. We have the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, which is definitely not that important. You want to keep your HQ on the field if you are into your rescue-ace engine, otherwise go for your temple. So you might not see your rescue-ace engine when starting with this deck, then you obviously go for the temple, 2 caught by and 1 crossout just to be safe from anything hand trappy. And then we have the one-offs obviously from the rescue-ace deck. We have triple emergency, which is just an insane card, triple wanted for access to Diasta. I talked about evenly, and then infinite permanences that you can also set with your triple tactics thrust. If you can activate this card on your first turn, then you could, for example, just set an infinite impermanence, and that's still quite nice. We have this package here, you know it from the Snake Eye deck, and the rest is not too special here. This one can protect your Turbulence from being impermed or effect veiled. So if you can get the Turbulence on the field and you can get a Sprite Elf on the field before that, then it's quite nice. You are protected against imperm and against effect veil. Unfortunately, at the current moment, we don't have the SP Little Knight, so we have to protect ourselves via the Sprite Elf. The rest is pretty clear. We have the Zealantis OTK kill here, and then an Underworld Goddess, because we can make a lot of bodies, and there is the X-Pearly Nua around the Towers monster. A lot of people playing Pearly right now because of the support. Okay, what is the idea of a 60 card deck? Why are we doing this? What is the math behind it? So the math behind it is that if you put 60 cards in your decks, then you are less likely to see the one-offs that you do not want to see, right? Obviously, if I have 40 cards in this deck, I will more likely draw Contain, Extinguish, the Alert, the Rescue, the HQ, the Temple, for example, maybe a Duster that I don't want to see when I go first. So what we are doing here, and the other bricks I talked about, or the half bricks, if you want to call them that, same with Kurikara and stuff, which is a nice card, but you don't want to draw it like going first turn. You are reducing the chance, the statistical chance of drawing these cards in your opening hand. And you can see we have a lot of combo starters in here. You have an Ash, you have Airlifter, you have your original Sinful Spoils, you have Bonfire at 3, you have Dia at 3, you have Wanted at 3, you have Emergency, which is technically a starter if you have any other rescue-ace card in the hand. So a lot of starters here, so starting the turn is not the big of a problem, but we are reducing the chance of getting the cards that we do not want to see playing the 60 cards, and obviously combining one very strong engine being rescue-ace with the strongest engine in the game right now being Snake Eyes. So that's the deck list. Guys, let me know what you think of this. Are you going to try this out? Is this way too expensive for you? You might see a video or two with this specific deck come in the next days. Depends on what I will upload and what is there to come. This is not quite sure at the current moment. Thanks for being here. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, hitting the thumbs up and the notification bell, and we will see each other in the next one.